Arabic, so you can look through it in the book, inshallah. You can look through it in the book. In the beginning, we're in the beginning. The book of purification. أنواع المياه وأقسامها. المياه التي يجوز بها تطهير 7 مياه: ماء السماء، وماء البحر، وماء النهر، وماء البئر، وماء العين، وماء الثلج، وماء البرد. ثم المياه على 4 أقسام: طاهر مطهر غير مكروه ماء المطلق، طاهر مطهر مكروه ماء المشمس، طاهر وغير مطهر وهو ماء المستعمل والمتغير مخالته من الطاهرات. وماء النجس وهو الذي حلت فيه النجاسة وهو دون قلتين أو كان قلتين فتغير. والقلتان 500 رطل بغداد تقريبا في الأصح. وجلود الميتة تطهر بالدباغ إلا الجلد الكلب والخنزير وما تولد منهما أو من أحدهما. وعظم الميتة وشعرها نجس إلا الآدمي. ولا يجوز استعمال أواني الذهب والفضة، ويجوز استعمال غيرهما من الأواني. والسواك مستحب في كل حال إلا بعد زوال الصائم، وهو في 3 مواضع أشد استحبابا: عند تغير الفم من عزم وغيره، عند القيام من النوم، عند القيام إلى الصلاة. وفروض الوضوء 6 أشياء: النية عند غسل الوجه، وغسل اليدين إلى المرفقين، ومسح بعض الرأس، وغسل الرجلين إلى الكعبين، والترتيب على ما ذكرناه. وسننه 10 أشياء: التسمية، وغسل الكفين قبل إدخالهما الإناء، والمضمضة، والاستنشاق، ومسح جميع الرأس، ومسح الأذنين ظاهرهما وباطنهما بماء جديد، وتخليل لحية الكث، وتخليل أصابع اليدين والرجلين، وتقديم اليمنى على اليسرى، والطهارة 3 والموالاة. والاستنجاء واجب من البول والغائط، والأفضل أن يستنجي بالأحجار ثم يتبعها بالماء، ويجوز أن يقتصر على الماء على 3 أحجار ينقي بهن المحل، فإن أراد الاختصار لأحدهما فالماء أفضل. ويجتنب استقبال القبلة واستدبارها في الصحراء. ويجتنب البول والغائط في ماء راكد، وتحت الشجرة المثمرة، وفي الطريق والظل والثقب. ولا يتكلمون على البول والغائط، ولا يستقبل الشمس والقمر، ولا يستدبرهما. الذي ينقض الوضوء 6 أشياء: ما خرج من السابلين، والنوم على غير هيئة المتمكن، وزوال العقل بالسكر أو مرض، ولمس الرجل المرأة الأجنبية من غير حائل، ومس فرج الآدمي بمواطن الكف، ومس حلقة الدبر على الجديد. والذي يوجب الغسل 6 أشياء: 3 تشترك فيها الرجال والنساء، وهي الالتقاء الختانين، وإنزال المني، والموت. 3 تختص بها النساء، وهي الحيض والنفاس والولادة. وفرائض الغسل 3 أشياء: النية، وإزالة النجاسة إن كانت على البدن، وإيصال الماء إلى جميع الشعر والبشرة. وسننه 5 أشياء: التسمية، والوضوء قبله، وإمرار الجسد، والموالاة، وتقديم اليمنى على اليسرى. والاغتسالات المسنونة 17 غسلا: غسل الجمعة والعيدين والاستسقاء والخسوف والكسوف، والغسل من غسل الميت والكافر إذا أسلم والمجنون والمغمى عليه إذا أفاق، والغسل عند الإحرام ولدخول المكة ولوقوف بعرفة ولمبيت بمزدلفة ولرامي جمار 3 وللطواف وللسعي ولدخول مدينة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. ومسح الخفين جائز ب3 شرائط: أن يبتدى لبسهما بعد كمال الطهارة، وأن يكونوا ساترين لمحل الغسل الفرد من القدمين، وأن يكون مما يمكن تتابع المشي عليهما. يمسح المقيم يوم وليلة، والمسافر 3 أيام بلياليهن. وابتداء المدة من حين يحدث بعد لبس الخفين، فإن مسح في الحضر ثم سافر، أو مسح في السفر ثم أقام، أتم مسح المقيم. ويبطل المسح بثلاثة أشياء: بخلعهما وانقضاء المدة وما يوجب الغسل. وشرائط التيمم 5 أشياء: وجود العذر بسفر أو مرض، ودخول الوقت الصلاة، وطلب الماء، وتعذر استعماله، وعوازه بعد الطلب، والتراب طاهر له غبار فإن خالته جس أو رمل لم يجزه. وفرائض 4 أشياء: النية، ومسح الوجه، ومسح اليدين مع المرفقين، والترتيب. وسننه 3 أشياء: التسمية، وتقديم اليمنى على اليسرى، والموالاة. والذي يبطل التيمم ما أبطل الوضوء، ورؤية الماء في غير وقت الصلاة، والردة. وصاحب الجبائر يمسح عليها ويتيمم ويصلي، ولا إعادة عليه إن كان وأداها على الطهر، ويتيمم لكل فريضة، ويصلي بتيمم واحد ما شاء من النوافل. كل ماء خرج من السابلين نجس إلا المني. وغسل جميع الأبوال والأرواث واجب إلا بول الصبي الذي لم يأكل الطعام، فإن خالته فإنه يطهر برش الماء عليه. ولا يعفى عن شيء من النجسات إلا اليسير من الدم والقيء، وما لا نفس له سائلة إذا وقع في الإناء ومات فيه فإنه لن ينجز. والحيوان كله طاهر إلا الكلب والخنزير وما تولد منهما أو من أحدهما. والميتة كله نجسة إلا السمك والجراد والآدمي. ويغسل الإناء من بلوغ الكلب والخنزير 7 مرات إحداهن بتراب، ويغسل من سائر النجاسات مرة تأتي عليه، و3 أفضل: إذا تخللت الخمر من نفسها طهرت، وإن خللت بطري شيء فيها لم تطهر. جيد. فصل. So we reach inshallah the last section. So we cover the Matn inshallah بإذن الله سبحانه in a video. I would do the whole Matn with in English, so that anyone that wants to benefit from these classes can also review the text in English inshallah. So we are in فصل أحكام الدم عند المرأة, the rulings of the blood in relation to the woman, right? So here, in Arabic, so we'll read one section and I will ask you to read inshallah. So here, ويخرج من فرج المرأة 3 دماء. Here الفرج, the word farj is actually the private part, right? So farj, furuj is for male and female, but in this case is used specifically to mean the private part of the woman, right? So it says, and from the private part of the woman come out 3 types of blood: damul haid, wal nifas, wal istihada. Right? So this is, what is it? What are the three types of blood in English?
Menstrual, postnatal, and irregular.
Good. Menstrual, postnatal, wal istihada, right, and irregular. Now, there is another blood, right? There's another blood that is mentioned in the parts of ghusl, right? It says, وَيُوجِبُ الْغُسْلُ 6 أشياء, 6, because of 6 reasons. 3 reasons are related to men and women. 3 تشترك فيها الرجال والنساء وهي التقاء الختانين وإنزال المني والموت. The sexual relations, 1. The
releasing of
when a person releases sperm, but because of sexual relations, right? والموت, and death. وثلاثة تختص بها النساء, and 3 are specifically for the women, right?
postnatal,
الحيض والنفاس والولادة, menstruation, postnatal,
giving birth,
and the blood that comes after birth, right? So this is not mentioned here, right? So the wilada is because of giving birth. There's a different reason. This is more regular, right? The that it always happens, right? So here, دم الحيض والنفاس والولادة. فالحيض, so here, okay, جيد. فالحيض هو الدم الخارج من فرج المرأة على سبيل الصحة من غير سبب الولادة. See, it mentioned ولادة, right? So here means that it's a natural bleeding, right? So what does the translation say? Okay, one second. الصحة من غير سبب الولادة ولونه أسود مهتدا للذاع. Good, that's point number one. So you can read that. Read the first section, waqas, and then you read the second one.
Menstrual blood is blood that normally exits from a woman's vagina and without being caused by delivery. It is black in color, hot, and pungent. Postnatal bleeding is the blood that exits after childbirth. Irregular bleeding, istihada, is blood that exits outside of the days of menstrual and postnatal bleeding. The minimum duration for menstruation.
Okay, no, stop there, inshallah. Okay, so here, رواه البخاري in 290 ومسلم in 1211 عن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها قالت خرجنا لا نرى إلا الحج. So we went with no intention other than Hajj, right? فلما كنا بصرف حط, when we were on the way, right, I got my menstruation. Aisha radiallahu anha, right? فدخل علي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنا أبكي. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم entered upon me. He came into the room and saw me crying, right? قال ما لك, what's wrong with you? ما لك أنفستي? قلت نعم. Anfisti, also nifas, is blood, right? So he said, Anfisti, like, did you get your menstruation? Naam. She said, yes. قال إن هذا أمر كتبه الله على بنات آدم. So this is a matter that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed for the daughters of Adam. Right? إن هذا أمر كتبه الله على بنات آدم فأقضي ما يقضي الحاج. So do everything in Hajj with exception of the tawaf of the house, because the tawaf is a prayer and prayer is not accepted unless you're pure. But he said do everything else except tawaf. So now نرى نظن أنفسنا محرمين بصرف مكان قرب مكة. So بصرف so نرى it means that we intended, right? We were intended to go to Hajj and we were getting ready, dressed for Hajj. And then when they were doing the ihram, that's when she got her menstruation, right? And not, even though women don't wear the ihram, but there was in that time. And the indication is that sarf is the place where you put the ihram, one of the places, right? Kunna bisarf makan is a place near Mecca, and then that's what happened. Anfasta ahdatta, do you get menstruation? So the commentator is given the definition of each one. Anfasta meaning ahdatta, did you get haid? Fa'aqdi, fa'if'al, so do everything Hajj except the tawaf.
This is narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha.
Yes, Rawah Bukhari and Muslim. Yeah, Rawah Bukhari and Muslim. Jade. So the next one is muhtadimun ladda'. Muhtadimun is hot. Min ihtidam nahar ishtadda harrahu. So is hot fluid. Ladda' موجع. ورواه أبو داود وغيره عن فاطمة بنت أبي حبيش أنها كانت تستحاض. She used to have haid and menstruation. فقال لها النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said to her, إذا كان الدم الحيض فإنه دم أسود يعرف, فإذا كان ذلك فأمسكي عن الصلاة, فإذا كان الآخر فتوضئي وصلي فإنما هو عرق. Jade. So he mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ has given her a sign that if the blood has this characteristic, then it is menstruation. So restrain yourself from prayer, right? If it has this description, but if it doesn't, then make wudu and pray because it's just extra blood. It's high. It's istihada.
Istihada. Okay.
You see. So look at that. In one hadith, it gives you both. You know. So this is the practical. You see, like, this is the way the Prophet did it. This is the way the Prophet responded, right? It's not like it doesn't make sense. No, this is the way he did it, right? فَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ. If the Prophet gave you something, you take it, right? And whatever he forbids you, you abstain for it. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. So we fear Allah. So here it says that if you have haid, then he said the blood of the haid is black. That's how we know it. When it starts, it's dark, right? And then if it's of such nature, then famsiki anis salah, then hold yourself from salah. Amsiki is hold yourself, right? Restrain yourself. فَإِذَا كَانَ الْآخَرِ, if it's other than that, in the beginning, right? فَتَوَدَّى, make wudu. So the woman who has istihada, then you make wudu, and you just pray, right? Jade. So here in the commentator also is defining. So al-akhar meaning what doesn't have the characteristics that the Prophet mentioned of haid. So that's the other type. Jade. So I'm gonna read one nifas was istihada, two things, and then so you read those, okay? The postnatal and the irregular blood. والنفاس هو الدم الخارج عقب الولادة والاستحادة هو الدم الخارج في غير أيام الحيض والنفاس. So this is an introduction. So the author is giving you an introduction of these of the types of blood that come out, and then part 2 he gives you a description of each type of blood, right? And now he's going to give you the time. When is the least amount of days, the most amount of days, and what is the average, right? So he gives you that. So I mean, this chapter, if you take it like in depth, we can be weeks just studying this chapter with a lot of more details. So this is very interesting. At least we get the text, and we get the proofs from authentic sources, and then so it's like a phase 1. Jade, so can you read the definition of both al-nifas and al-istihada?
The postnatal bleeding is a blood that exists after childbirth. Irregular bleeding, istihada, is blood that exists outside the days of menstrual and postnatal bleeding.
Okay, so now to know what's outside, right? You have to know what's the maximum number of haid and what's the maximum number of istihad of nifas, right? Anything after, like for example, we had a sister in Egypt, and she came to us asking, I have some sisters that have that, and honestly, it's something that you can ask to. Like for example, if you're thinking of getting married, it's something that you ask. The reason why is because sometimes, during menstruation is challenging for both husband and wife. The hormones, ask, because then, if it's going to be a hardship, it's going to be something that's going to cause you frustration. So it's good to ask, if I may ask, how is your, in regards of your health, you have to know these things, right? If you find out after you got married that there was a health issue and you didn't know, and it was known, then that contract is void because you didn't know. Everything has to be clear. This is a contract, right? And the same thing for the men. So it's good to one, do the proper checkups beforehand. And this is so the reason I'm mentioning this is because this is dealing with the woman, and this is what keeps the system of the woman functioning. They have in itself, like cars. You have to take them to a place to get a tune-up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this in the women that they give themselves a tune-up by Allah's decree. So that it's not a one day waiting outside of the auto shop and waiting for the car to come out. Sometimes it's 7 days. What about if it's 15 days? Right? What about if it's 15 days? So that's the thing. So the sister asked, my I've been menstruating for 15 days. What do I do? We didn't know. Right? So we went to the place where all the big sheikhs of Azhar are, the Mashaykha, and then we asked. So they gave this answer. Okay, so أقل الحيض يوم وليلة وأكثره 15 يوما وغالبه 6 أو 7. Jade, so the least amount of haid is a day or night. The maximum number according to the Shafi'iyya is 15 days. So anything after 15, the 16 days, then this is istihada.
So other madhabs have different amount of days?
That's based on the proofs that they arrived at.
Oh, wow.
Right, yeah. So it's very based on the proof. That's why studying the madhab is just to have a base. Not to say this is the base and this is the only base and everything else is wrong, but to study the base, and then it helps you become familiar with other madhabs, right? And it's good to say, what, in this, let me look into what do the Maliki, and there's books, mashallah, that, for example, there's a book called Fiqh ala Madhab al-Arba', and it's fiqh according to the 4 school of thoughts. So there you can research, right? And this is like 4 or 5 volumes. And I think they translated some of it in English. So the thing is, at least you can get to research a little bit, right? There's another book, just to give you an idea, to be practical. There's also another book, which is the book Bidayat al-Mujtahid of Ibn Rushd. So for example, just to give you an example, Tahara, wiping, just to give you an example of the ikhtilafats. Here it is. Okay, maximum number, here you go, see, maximum and minimum number of days, right? Now I'm going to give you an example of the schools, right? But sometimes in Bidayat al-Mujtahid, you have some proofs, but you don't have this in books of each madhab will be explained in maximum detail, right? So this is it will give you, these are different opinions, but sometimes it doesn't, it just gives you, this is their opinion, but it doesn't give you what is all their proofs that make them arrive at it. Like we can say, I read Bidayat al-Mujtahid and it said this. But no, a serious student will be like, I want to see what are the proofs. And honestly, I spend hours just on one topic from one madhab. If you do another madhab, that's 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, to then become confused, because if you don't have the other different sciences of how to derive laws, you might apply it all messed up. That's why we go to scholars that, like for example, Sheikh Yasser Birjas. His specialty is he's from Maghrib Institute. His specialty is Usul al-Fiqh also, and Islamic law. So when I say somebody asked me a question from Dallas, go to Sheikh Yasser, right? Somebody asked me a question in Usul al-Fiqh here in Houston, right? If you're in this area, go to Sheikh Salah, right? If you're in the north, go to Sheikh Yahya Sufi, right? Islam is practical in that way. So here, the jurists disagreed about the maximum minimum number of days of menstruation and the minimum number of days of the period of purity. It's related by Malik that the maximum number of days for menstruation is 15, which is also a Shafi'i's opinion. Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, said that the maximum number of days is 10. So there is no minimum number. there is no minimum limit for the period of menstruation according to Malik. So how did Malik and Shafi agreed on the maximum numbers, they disagreed on the minimum number. Right? And Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said that the number is 10. Right? Right?
So what they're doing is the difference in days is meaning you can start praying again. That's what it is.
The maximum meaning that once is
after that.
After you can pray.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
any extra blood you wash off and so on. Alright, so here
I didn't think that was understood. I think I just asked and you told me. It's like, what are you talking about for this? Keep going.
No. Well, again?
I don't think that was understood.
What?
That's why the mayor is the maximum minimum.
No, the maximum is telling you that if after the maximum there is extra blood, then like the Prophet ﷺ said, you make wudu and you pray. Right? That's what it is. So it's telling you because that number, the maximum, determines whether you can pray or not. If you're in the Shafi'iyya, then it's 14. Say no, it's still haid. It's still because what is the most important thing? Salah. What is preventing you from Salah? Right? So that's what Jade. And also reading Quran, right, which we're gonna get to. Now Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So Shafi said that the minimum number of period of menstruation is 1 day and a night. Abu Hanifa said that the minimum is 3 days. Okay?
So
Abu Hanifa said the minimum is 3 days and the maximum is 10 days.
Okay.
Alright? So now the narrations from Malik differed about the minimum of purity. It is related from him that it is 10 days. It is related that 8 days. And it is also related that 15 days, which was the inclination of al-Baghdadi, Khatib al-Baghdadi, famous muhaddith, and also the opinion of Shafi and Abu Hanifa. Some jurists said that the period is 17 days, which is the maximum number according to the consensus, as far as I think. So now he's given his Ibn Rushd, the one that's combining this book, says, and the period is 17 days, the maximum according to the consensus. Like the scholars, they all analyze all these different views, and their consensus was 17 days, right? As far as I think. So he's going by the opinion. There is no limit set for the maximum period of purity in their view. So all this, and then now here's the summary, and so on. And there's a summary, and there's a little bit more here. And this is just giving you opinions. It's not giving you like the meat of the matter. It's just like, these are the rulings. Who do you like now, right? So, no, alhamdulillah, but it's good. I mean, for somebody who wants to research, looks at it, but then now you don't just base it on that. So this is what we're doing, is we're giving you the rulings. This is what the text gives you. These are the rulings according to the compiler of this text, Matn Abi Shujaa. And then Mustafa al-Bugha made it easy, and he made it into one small book. So he puts the proofs in the bottom. Sheikh Muhammad Imam Muhammad al-Shirbini, rahimahullah, he wrote the book Al-Iqna'. And this book, we studied it 3 years in Egypt, right, in Azhar. And this book is explaining the Matn Abi Shujaa in 3 years, 400 pages each book, right? So it's more details, right? And then, study with Sheikh Mahdi, Hafidahullah, who lives in Algeria. And we study Mughni al-Muhtaj, which is 4 bigger volumes, like the ones that I brought. So that's the thing, the expanding of this knowledge. So anything that is here, we see the proofs, we learn it, but whenever there's a question, you mark it and say, this is a question, and then we can look into it. Let's look at this topic. About the Bismillah. 7 pages. I saved the file, 7 pages in Arabic, about what scholars of Hadith say about the Basmala. Just the Basmala, right? Using it for wudu, for ghusl, for all that. Okay, or starting any affair with Bismillah. So let us. Allahu Akbar.
It's like a new person, man.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. It's good. It's good. Okay, inshallah. So we are. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Raqam 1. So we read the hadith of
of the istihada to make wudu.
No. Now the next hadith. Rawahu Bukhari and Muslim. Bukhari in 226, Muslim in 333. Jade. Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha قالت said جاءت فاطمة بنت أبي حبيش إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قالت so فاطمة بنت حبيش said يا رسول الله إني امرأة استحاد فلا أطهر. I am a woman and I get my haid and I don't become pure. فأدع الصلاة like should I? Let's look. Is I the question. أفأدع الصلاة? Should I leave صلاة? فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما ذلك عرض. You continue by that. Right? You continue by that. Right? So the women know. Right? And that's why, Imams will ask, what is your regular cycle? Right? Right? What is your regular cycle? Right? I mean, we honestly, as husbands, if you ask, do you know your wife's regular cycle? No, we don't know. And wife asks, when did it start? I have no idea. Because you're busy with other things, right? But, so this is why the women, they know. Like, it starts on this date and ends at this date. They know. They have it mapped on their calendar. So that's the thing. So this is what's good about hearing this hadith, which is like related to Sira, story, incidents that happen. Jade. So now أقل الحيض يوم وليلة وأكثر 15 يوما وغالبون 16. أقل النفاس لحظة. The minimum number of nifas, right, of postnatal bleeding is a moment. It could be a moment and it stops, that's it. وأكثر 60 يوما, and the majority is 60 days of bleeding.
Maximum?
Yeah, maximum. وغالبه غالبه is the most common, right?
40 days.
Yeah, 40 days. The average, right? غالبه, majority of the time, 40 يوما. Jade. أقل الطهر بين الحيضتين. Now, in the Shafi'i madhab, you see, I mentioned before in another madhab that there is no period for purity, right? In the Shafi'i madhab, they mention it too, right? So here, the minimum amount, أقل, I read it in Arabic and you read, that also means, it means purity and impurity. Qur, yeah, right? When you go into divorce, right? Then the woman shall wait 3 qurus, 3 menstrual cycles, or 3 periods of purity. Right? So it has both interpretations linguistically from the Quran. That only one word. Right? So because of that, see that they put emphasis, they gave both purity and impurity. This is talking about haid. Right? So the period of jade. So the next one says, now the minimum, أقل النفاس أقل النفاس هذا أقل طهور بين هذا أقل زمن. The next أقل زمن تحيض فيه المرأة 9 سنين. The age, now the age of the girl, the minimum, and now this varies too. The reason this varies is because the girls develop based on environments, based on landscape at different ages. Here in America, they develop much faster. Why? Because of all the hormones that exist, right? So in other countries, you have girls that are of age, and they haven't developed because they're preserved and this and that. So that is also these things are not like black and white that we're gonna implement it here and say 9 years old and that's it because I read in this book. This varies. These kind of things. And what is the sign of adolescent, right? One of the signs is that they get the menstruation. Another sign is the changing of their bodies, right? So now you see that, okay, even 9, 10, if that's happening, then okay, it's developing. So أقل الزمن تحيض فيه المرأة 9 سنين right. وأقل حمل 6 أشهر. And the minimum number of pregnancy is 6 months. وأكثره 4 سنين. And the majority is
4 years.
4 years. The maximum is 4 years. وغالبه 19 9 months. Right, the average, right, the most common. So this is, let's look at this. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. هذه تقادير رقم 2. هذه تقادير في الحيض والنفاس والطهر مبناها الاستقراء أي تتبع الحوادث والوجود. So here they do istiqra'a. Istiqra'a is a method of extracting law, right? Istiqra'a is surveying, right? So in order to provide a ruling for this, then you have to survey the girls in your neighborhood, in your community, right? And the mothers can do that, survey and see. This is brought to the jurists. This is the situation in our community, right? Then from that, because of istiqra, ruling that is suitable for them, because of that circumstances, right? So al-istiqra, تتابع الحوادث من surveying وقد وجدت وقائع أثبتها. So if there is a need, right, because of like everybody, like most of the girls are menstruating at the age of 9, right? And they say it became an average, and they know, and they say somebody else before, because of the time changes, before had determined that no, the girl is obligatory to make salah at the age of 12, right? Because maybe at that time that was the circumstances, and this changed, right? So now, because of a new survey that was done, if that was done based on surveying, then you still can look into do another survey and see this change. So these body of scholars can go and say, you know what, we'll override that rule, and this is the new rule, right? And this, what happens is sometimes people, when they read books and they read the book with the old rule and they don't know about what the new rule is, and they build on it, and that's it. They say, no, I read it in that book. But wait a minute, is that what's older, that one or this one?
Where is this where it says that you have to do a survey? This
is usul al-fiqh. This is the science of extracting law. This is the science of extracting law. One is the Quran, then the Sunnah, then you have al-ijma'. The ijma', and the ijma' has many different, the ijma' of the Sahaba, the ijma' of the four madhabs, the ijma', right? And then there's istiqra'. Al-istiqra', that's a term. Istiqra'. See, so Shaykh Mustafa Bugha, he said that mabnaha ala istiqra'. So this here that's in the Matn is based on istiqra' that was done in this time, in that time and that place, right? And this is a general rule in Islamic law, that the rulings vary from place to time, right? So now there's another thing that inshallah we can look into in the near future, is to read an introductory book on usul al-fiqh, to get an introduction of usul al-fiqh. What is it? Like, I have a book there in English, by Sheikh Niyazi. But this is, and every school has their methodology. That's because the school is a methodology. It's not just the rulings. So the Hanafi school has a methodology. So this is the secrets of usul al-fiqh by Niyazi. This is like based on the madhab, the madhab of Imam Abu Hanifa in English. So we can read this. We can read it and what is the ruling of following a madhab, etc., or rules of fatwa, or rules of issuing fatwas, just to get an idea of what muftis have to do. No, not yet. This is just showing. I like to be practical, because then you're gonna start reading, and then the time is gonna be adhan and salah and okay. So inshallah, and then we have other books. Okay, so let's continue. So we did that already. Okay. استدل لأقل حمل بقول تعالى عليه الصلاة والسلام وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا. So this is based on the ayah, the minimum pregnancy. حمله وفصاله 30 شهرا, meaning 30 months, right? 30 months. Let's see. مع قوله سبحانه وتعالى وفصاله في عامين, and also the child breastfeeding is 2 years. فإذا كان المجموع الحمل والفصال 30 شهرا والفصال 1 عامين. So here what it mentions is that there's another interpretation as well to the ayah, which is that the ayah is that the 30 شهرا is that it's 30 months, right? 30 months meaning that you nurse the child for 2 years and 6 months. That's one interpretation of the ayah.
Can you read that again?
Right?
With the meaning?
وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا. Right? But here it says حمله وفصاله. Right? So here وفصاله عامين. Right? So there's another ayah that says and the nurturing, the breastfeeding is 2 years. Right? So in the interpretation it says that what it means is that the وحمله the pregnancy 30 شهرا meaning مجموعة حمل 30 شهرا وفي 30 شهرا وفصاله 1 عامين كان الحمل 6 أشهر. Jade. So here what it means 30 months, right? 30 months meaning 2 years of nursing and what? And 6 months of pregnancy.
Yeah. In the womb. 6 to 9
Right?
months.
Look at that. And the Quran is telling that. It putting it both together. وحمله وفصاله, the pregnancy and the nursing is 30 months. Right? So this is giving you the minimum of pregnancy, 6 months. Jade, so the next one, what is forbidden, right? And we're about to conclude, inshallah. وَيَحْرُمُ, what is forbidden for the woman that has haid, that has nifas, and what is forbidden for the woman for the one who is